Okay, guys, welcome back to the YouTube channel. Ish, you see, I recorded a video before this on lesson 4, and then I found out like he was just teaching, so I'm not going to. I'll just skip that. So what I'm about to do now, before I record, I'll check if he's coding to save everyone's time, because I know a lot of people just want to code and carry on with everything. So in your own time, in your own free time, you can go through the videos in your email, just watch them, as long as like you have your code and everything, you did everything right, and now you have to go check the theory part of it. So yeah, now we are about to code, and the reason why I haven't been posting is because of this. Like I watched lesson, I recorded lesson 1 and lesson 2, and then I found out like, okay, I'm just learning here, I'm not doing anything, and of which it's going to bore you guys. Like imagine me just like listening to the professor teaching. So you might as well just do it in your own free time. So now I think we'll start coding on lesson 5.
First thing we're going to code is the function to retrieve all the contacts from the database. In other words, we're going to be calling the getContacts API function. Now, the question that we need to ask ourselves is, when does this function actually run? When you start your app, does the user need to do anything to retrieve all contacts, or will that process be automatic? Now, we'd like it to be automatic because there simply isn't a need to have the user interact with the front end to retrieve all the contacts. What we want is the moment index.html opens up, then a call is made to the server and all the contacts are retrieved and displayed to the screen. So to run the function when our script loads, we're going to go to the body tag and we're simply going to put in a Java onload function, and inside there we're going to put in the name of the function, which is going to be fetch contacts. Now the reason I'm doing this first before the fetch contacts function is actually created is that it's very easy to forget this later on. So when you forget this, you've got your function there, you've got your code inside your function, you run your code and suddenly you see nothing's happening, and that's simply because we didn't actually call the function. So there it is. Onload is equal to, in double quotes, fetch contacts, open and close brackets. Now let's start coding that function. Fetch contacts, that is with an S, and then we put in our curly braces. And this function is very simple. We simply call the fetch API, and inside there we put in root path. Now where is root path coming from? Remember, it's coming from config.js. That's the root path right there. And if you've successfully included config.js in your index.html file, then you shouldn't have any problem accessing root path. So it's root path plus, in double quotes, controller / get contact and / again. And that's pretty much it. That's your fetch API call. Next, we put in the two thens.
Don't forget the full stop before you type then.
We'll have an anonymous callback function that simply converts the response object into a JSON array. And the second then will receive this JSON array and do something with it. What is this going to do?
Okay. Response dot JSON, and then we open our brackets, and then we're going to have our semicolon outside there, and then let's just do this. Don't know why, but let's do it. And then we will have another full stop, and then we're gonna type our function, and then open bracket data, and then okay. Oh, okay. One thing here on the closing, I understand why we have this brackets here, because we only have one here, so we are going to remove this one here, and also this one we will remove it here, and then we will close with our curly brackets. Curly brackets, and then enter, and then here we will close with our normal bracket, you see. So yeah, let's continue.
What is this going to do? Instead of outputting the content here, which is going to make this function rather large and convoluted, we're going to simply delegate the responsibility of displaying the contacts that come back onto the screen into another function. And we're going to call that function display output, and we're going to pass it the data object. Let's take a look at this code now. The first thing we need to put in is the body on load function, and we set it equal to fetch contacts function, and then our fetch contacts function simply does a fetch API call to root path plus controller / get contact / this second / is critically important, and note there's no semicolon or comma at the end of this line. Next, we call the first then, and we pass it a callback function, which simply takes the response object that's coming back from the server, converts it into a JSON array, and returns it to the next callback function of the next then. And that callback function calls a third function, which is display output. So the display output function is actually going to take the JSON array that's coming from the server and unravel that and take each of the rows of data that's coming from the server and display it into a beautiful table format on our screen. But before we develop the display output function, let's see if there's anything coming from the server at all. In other words, let's check if our fetch API call has indeed been successful. So to start off with, I'm just going to comment out the display output line, and then I'm going to log the data.
Let's add our comment // and then display output, and then open brackets. Inside we're gonna add our data, and then semicolon. This is a comment. Okay, let's continue with the console, Professor.
Variable into the console. So I'm going to call console.log data. There we go. So what this is going to do when I run this code is that it's going to display the contents of data into the console if anything came back. So let's save this and head into our browser.
Yeah, let's save
now,
it.
In the browser, I've already got the file open.
To the index.html browser.
What time do you think we're gonna do the yard? Because we didn't end up doing that today. And then
Okay,
also,
I'll shoot this lesson, then we'll do it. Boy, can you give me space now?
okay, sure.
Okay, go to documents. Let's go to. I don't think I'll finish today to record all those videos, guys. I'm sorry. Contact books. This is how I run mine. So if you want, you can run it from the VS Code. And then like, okay, since it's on Chrome, we'll just double click on it. And then
So that you have the right file and folder, open up index.html, refresh it.
okay, let's refresh. This is what I have.
And when I look into the console, this is what I see. Anything came back. So let's save this
Enter
and
the
head into our
API.
browser. Now in the browser, I've already got the file open. Make sure that you have the right file and folder. Open up index.html, refresh it, and when I look into the console, this is what I see. I see the number 2 with a series of brackets, and there you can see there's 0, and then there's 1. First name Tony, last name Stark, and then the second element in the array, first name Black, second name Widow. So that's a very good sign. That tells us that our fetch API call was successful, that our little application that we just built
Contact loading.
hit the server, spoke to the API, retrieved some data, and then brought that data back. Excellent.
On my console,
so we are
this is
making
what I see.
good progress here.
But on my
Right file and folder.
on the console, this is what I see, guys. Did I do something wrong? Oh, did I say I don't? Did I save? Surely I did. Surely I did. Control S. And also config. Control S. And then like let's Control S. Let's go back. This is what I have. Okay. I don't know, guys.
But before we develop the display output function, let's see if there's anything coming from the server at all. In other words, let's check if our fetch API call has indeed been successful. So to start off with, I'm just going to comment out the display output line, and then I'm going to log the data variable into the console. So I'm going to call console.log data. There we go. So what this is going to do when I run this code is that it's going to display the contents of data into the console if anything came back. So let's save this and head into our browser. Now in the browser, I've already got the file open. Make sure that you have the right file and folder. Open up index.html, refresh it.
I don't understand, guys. I really don't understand. I don't know what I'm doing right now, but like, okay, it's supposed to be on top. Then all I don't get it. Default levels. There's no all or something. Okay, all. Okay. Still, guys. Still. Okay, I don't know. Okay, let's press here. Maybe some error, something. Okay. No message. Uh, okay, like I don't get it. Evaluate. Display. Okay guys, I'll figure this one out and then I'll tell you, because I'm also confused, really confused. Should I do this? This is elements and then console, we have nothing. I'm not sure. And then when we try to refresh, and then like on his side it's written contacts loading and then refresh and then add contacts, but on my side please enter valid API key. I don't remember him adding a valid
console.log data. There we go. So what this is going to do when I run this code is that it's going to display the contents of data into the console if anything came back. So let's save this and head into our browser. Now in the browser, I've already got the file open. Make sure that you have the right file and folder. Open up index.html, refresh it, and when I look into the console, this is what I see. I see the number 2 with a series of brackets, and there you can see.
Okay guys, let me end the video here. I'll do more research on this.